I have returned to the land of the living, and I shall now destroy this world! Who dares kill me on my return? It is I, Aquaman, here to save the day once again. Hurrah! Yeah, that's Aquaman 2. Everybody shut up and action! Alright guys, let's talk about Aquaman 2, and this movie was a real letdown, to be honest. I mean, Aquaman 1 was amazing. Aquaman 2, not so much. I mean, okay, let's talk about it. So, the plot of this movie is essentially Mantis makes his return. He's a threat to Atlantis. He's alive, he's a threat. Aquaman's undergoing internal affairs and conflicts within Atlantis itself. And in the meanwhile, Mantis is going out on a journey to find a way to destroy Aquaman, but during the process runs into a trident which gives him a connection to this Black King and a forgotten threat to Atlantis. And this is a threat that even the current Atlanteans don't remember in the slightest. It's a long forgotten throughout history sort of villain, because whoever defeated him thought he will never return. Now, Mantis is on this journey to revive this man, having impact on the world in the process, and while Aquaman goes to discover the cause of this threat on the world, or impact on the world, he discovers Mantis, and now it's basically Aquaman on a journey to stop Mantis from whatever he's trying to do. Yeah, I mean, the plot does sound mildly interesting, with some big unknown threat on its way to a return, with a current threat, Mantis, on his way to unleash his threat, so it'll be a dual threat against Aquaman. But upon execution, it's actually kind of lame. It wasn't really that captivating a story. It's just there. It's going on the screen. You couldn't care in the slightest. Honestly, this entire movie is just driven by Aquaman, and it is very hard to even watch from that point. I mean, for starters, this movie is riddled with questions. Firstly, Mantis, why does this dude have an army? Like, this guy isn't charismatic in the slightest. The people who follow him, it's not like they have some kind of hate towards Aquaman as well. And it doesn't seem like, the only plausible explanation I can think is that Mantis sold a bunch of Atlantean tech and got money and hired a bunch of villains to come help him. I mean, or bad guys to come help him be his crew. But what? Like, I mean, half of them, like, there's only, like, one guy, it seems like he's genuinely threatening, either work for me or die. But, like, the rest seem like they're willingly working for him with their loyalty they're showing him. And it's like, how the hell did he get this crew? I mean, it's not that big part of the story, but it is a question. Like, when you're telling a boring story, questions like this will arise, and you gotta have some kind of answer for that. But, like, whatever. But that's that. And if you want to keep going, you have this entire villain, unknown villain. Yeah, obviously everyone knows, because the plot is kind of predictable from that point, that the villain will return. What you don't predict is that it'll be like, haha, I'm back. Oh my god, I'm dead. Like, the villain seems like he's so powerful. It's built up to, like, look like if he's back, Atlantis does not stand a chance. Like, there's no shot they're gonna be able to stop this threat from destroying Atlantis, destroying the world in the slightest. This dude is that big of a threat. That's kind of how the build-up is sort of going behind him. And then all he does is come back, and the fight goes way too easily. He seems way too weak. You can make whatever argument you want. He seems like he's way too powerful. And even on his return, it doesn't seem like he's weak because he's just awoken. It's just boom. The movie genuinely feels really stupid from that aspect. And it was a huge anticlimactic event to go in this movie, because that was honestly the entire build-up for the movie, to see the evil king's return, just to be thwarted way too easily. Honestly, that was just a huge letdown in this movie. The biggest factor about this movie that I loved was the acting performances by Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson, I think his name is. Obviously they play Aquaman and Aquaman's brother from the first movie, so the two return and have a huge, amazing chemistry. They have amazing chemistry in this movie, and the duo is honestly one of the best duos in DC, I guess, from what we've seen in the movies right now. Maybe not in DC history, but like out of all the movies we've seen lately, these two are one of my favorite duos. Their entire chemistry and relationship is one of the best. It's hilarious to watch. The two have dropped amazing performances that really keeps you captivated and hooked into the movie. So yeah, it's basically just Aquaman and his brother that you're trying to actually follow in this movie. It's those two, their characters that really kind of hook you into the story. The story itself is boring, but it's those two characters and their journey together to try and stop Mantis that really hooks you in and makes you want to follow the movie and not just leave the entire theater or turn off the movie in general. There is also Randall Park, the dude from WandaVision. He gained a huge popularity there, his character in the MCU. I already forgot his character's name. Wow me. But in Aquaman 2, he plays a role as a scientist, and honestly, he honestly dropped an amazing performance in this movie as well, except for the one point where his character could shine, where his performance just fell through. But like, besides that, his performance was actually pretty good, and I actually really liked this character as well. An honorable scientist was being blackmailed by Mantis to work for him. He's that one character that was being blackmailed and wasn't really working for him. Honestly, his character was actually really likable as well, and I really liked him, and I hope to see him work more with Aquaman in Aquaman 3, or actually we're never going to see him again because DCU got rebooted, but like, I don't care. We'll probably get a better Aquaman movie when they remake Aquaman. Hopefully Jason Momoa stays casted. Yeah, besides that, let's keep talking about some good things about this movie, like the CGI. The CGI is honestly absolutely gorgeous throughout this movie. It was a beautiful spectacle to see on the big screen. It was honestly absolutely stunning. The visuals from the ocean to the ancient kingdom, the entire CGI of all that was absolutely gorgeous and a visual spectacle. There's only one point where I will say it fell through entirely. There was just one explosion which looked like absolutely fake and terrible, but like, I mean, in the grand spectrum of things, it's literally, oh my god, it's like you're drawing a huge horse and then it's just like one toe, which is just a scribble instead of an actual drawing, but it's that scribble that actually stands out, so you see in a beautiful image, but it's that one scribble that stands out because only reason you even notice that entire explosion was terrible was because the entire movie is flooded with beautiful spectacles, and then you get one terrible thing and it breaks the entire immersion, and it's like, what the heck? Like, that's the only reason anyone notices it, and it's just annoying. That was just sad. Couldn't spare a few extra budgets for a better explosion when you filled the movie with better explosions thrown and through. Just copy and paste one there and there, but whatever. It's fine. It's nothing bad. It's just something I noticed. And then you got Amber Heard, of course. I mean, there's been the entire Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard controversy stuff that everyone's been talking about. And Amber Heard had a heavily reduced role in this movie. Honestly, in the movie, she had like less than 10 minutes of screen time, which is kind of funny. But when she was on screen, she actually didn't do much, but she was actually pretty good with whatever little she did do. She had very few lines. She dropped them really well. Her character was kind of a badass, and it was honestly pretty cool to watch, if we're talking just in the aspect of the movie, not all the political BS. Honestly, the movie for the most part is kind of boring, uninteresting, and just tiring to watch in general, and it's really just Aquaman and his brother that really hook you through to keep watching the movie through and through. Aquaman is literally just a really fun, entertaining character, and he is just a real charismatic dude that makes you want to just watch whatever he's doing just for entertainment purposes. Like, he's really funny, his actions are funny, and when he gets serious, you know shit's about to go down and that you should watch and want to support him. He's just that kind of character, and it's kind of cool to watch, and that's the only reason Aquaman 2 was even somewhat watchable. Hey, and this movie also got its own little octopus sort of animal creature partner that plays a big part for a part of the movie, and it's just a really cool character to watch, and you really fall in love with it instantly, and you're like, Aquaman, you better protect him or I will hate you to the ends of the earth. It's like how much you love Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's that type of character for here, for how much you love it. Maybe not as much as Rocket, but like, you love him you love the little octopus dude a lot, and he's a really cool character, and he's really funny, especially in relation to Aquaman and his brother. And I mean, besides that, Aquaman has very little development in this movie, and it just made for a boring movie in general. I mean, yes, Aquaman is going through a lot of internal politics and conflicts in Atlantis itself, talking to the older Atlanteans who have political power, trying to bridge the gap between the land and Atlantis, trying to convince Atlantis to reveal itself to the land masses so that they can work in harmony rather than always be at war with each other, with the land not even knowing they're hurting Atlantis in general. I mean, it's just a really cool sort of, not even really cool, it's just minor interest points that kind of keep you hooked to Aquaman's character and see what he's been doing between the two movies. Honestly, the entire movie is kind of boring. There are minor interest points here and there. It's kind of funny, but like, most of the time you're just there to see Aquaman because he's really carrying it with his entire character. I mean, the movie is called Aquaman, so what would you expect? But like, even then, it's just still kind of boring, funny at times, but like, that's really it. The action sequences were pretty sick. The CGI is beautiful, but besides that, the movie is kind of let down. It's barely a bop. I give it a 60%. Not that rewatchable. Kind of immersive because of the CGI, but even then, not that much. So yeah, mid movie. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.